Hey guys, what is up? It's Andrew Murray here, and we are going to go deep into the world of Bitcoin. Here's what's going on February 25th. Right now, Bitcoin is about the same price as a kilo of gold. Okay, so let's look at the Bitcoin price. And it is $50,000. A kilo of gold is $57,000. And it was over this a couple of days ago. However, there was a retracement, which was probably a healthy retracement, but it seems to be holding the line here. Now, there was a strong dip right here, but it has been climbing back up. And it seems to be holding because a lot of people were worried that because it had gone so high so fast, it was going to go through a floor and continue to go down. But we'll talk about some of the reasons why I think it's staying strong and some other things in this video. So let's get into it. So big news. Now, why is this important, a kilo of gold? Because we're starting to see people like Cathie Wood talk about how this is a better hedge against inflation than gold. And she has a couple of interesting points here in this video. Let's roll this clip right now.
I got to get your thoughts on Bitcoin right now. What are you thinking? We just got notice that Square bought $170 million worth of Bitcoin in the most recent quarter. Thoughts on Bitcoin?
Yes, we're very positive on Bitcoin. Again, very happy to see a healthy correction here. No market is straight up. Everyone should know that. Everyone should have some dry powder for days like these. And I've been saying that for a while. We see so many use cases of Bitcoin, but probably the most important use case is an insurance policy around the world against confiscation of wealth. And that can happen in two ways. It can happen with inflation. Bitcoin, I think, is the best hedge against inflation out there, bar none, better than gold. And it can happen outright. I mean, when you saw in the Middle East prince take or seize his own relative's wealth, right. Everyone should know, if you think there's a 5% chance of that happening, you should put 5% of your portfolio long-term or your wealth into something like Bitcoin and carry the keys in your head across the border.
So she's talking a couple things. It holds that stability, but also she says this is the best inflation towards gold. And you're starting to see more people look at Bitcoin as that hedge against inflation. So before, you'd see a lot of people that were talking about gold and how it holds its value because it's a physical metal. Well, now people are starting to move and see Bitcoin as something very similar to that, which I think is really important because that is a shift that is showing a fundamental shift in how traditional investors are looking at Bitcoin and people that have been involved in this for a long time. So, believe it or not, Bitcoin has become a good long-term investment. This is what it's talking about as well. Besides the fluctuations, obviously it does fluctuate more than gold, but it is being looked at as a store of wealth. I think that that's going to continue to increase. So Cathie also said here, there are companies disrupting the financial world order like Tesla and Square that are, hedging their fiat reserves with Bitcoin. And as you may know, Square CEO Jack Dorsey bought like $70 million worth of Bitcoin recently, $170 million worth of Bitcoin, which is very significant. And these are innovative companies that are on the edge of innovation in their respective space. Tesla in terms of cars and Square in terms of online payment processes. And they're holding it on their reserves, on their balance sheets, which is something that companies traditionally haven't done. Now, playing into that as well is now Coinbase is actually, their financials are out because they are going public, okay? So they've listed their S1 form, and that's leading into its anticipated listing on the NASDAQ. And again, this is big news. So they have filed this. The company is expected to go public at a $100 billion valuation. That is really significant. So whether it's 100 billion or 77 billion, I mean, we're talking about something significant. Coinbase is still probably the number one place for people to buy their first cryptocurrency, and they've really innovated in that space and become the de facto leader for where people are going to buy their first cryptocurrency. It also shows that this is a very profitable business. Now, of course, if you're trading crypto, you don't want to trade on Coinbase because the fees are significantly higher, but be that as it may, it's making a lot of money. Brian Armstrong, the CEO, he made $60 million last year. That was disclosed as part of that IPO listing. So we're talking about some big money. And with this stuff becoming public, and with the first Bitcoin ETF being listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange this month, just not even a week ago, on the 18th, and then with Coinbase preparing for a public listing, with Elon Musk, tweeting, about Dogecoin and all this stuff. Actually, less so that, but when you look at the ETF and we look at Coinbase being listed as an IPO, these are signs to traditional investors that this space is legitimizing itself. Kind of like, how Michael always wanted to do in The Godfather. He always wanted to legitimize his Godfather business and turn it into safe money by legitimizing it. And this stuff is legitimizing crypto in a very interesting way. Speaking of the Bitcoin ETF, BTCC, here's what the Beaverton says. It combines the simplicity of cryptocurrency with the integrity of investment stocks. This is written from the perspective of people that are comfortable with traditional stocks, not so comfortable with cryptocurrency. This shows how they can get involved with it, and it's kind of bringing a little bit of stability to that. Also, big news, the Bitcoin ETF, it hit 421 AUM in 2 days, and AUM is assets under management. So they're significantly adding to their position. That is a sign that, this is holding a floor in the market and really kind of engaging people's interest and engaging investment dollars from investors. And that's what I said before when this ETF came on. I said that it would probably provide a floor here because you have a lot of money in registered accounts. You have a lot of money in the stock market that people just don't want to sell and collect capital gains and then move it over to some cryptocurrency exchange. With this, they can keep their money under asset, of their asset manager or whoever does their stock trading for them. And it makes it really, really interesting. So that's what's going on in the world of Bitcoin right now. We're seeing, high prices. I expect that this could be a new floor. That's what it looks to me initially, as this could be a new floor, and we'll platform here and then continue to go up. But you definitely don't want to be sleeping on Bitcoin. There'll be some links in the description of where to buy Bitcoin. Obviously, Coinbase is a great place if you're in the US or international and you don't have any Bitcoin. You certainly should have some. Get some exposure to it, because one of the things that I believe in as an investor is it's fine to paper trade and it's fine to follow a new asset class. But if you actually have money in the game, you'll learn quicker and you'll pay more attention to it. So even if you're just putting in, $100, $200, $300 into something, at least you're kind of a part of what's going on. And I think that that's an important conversation to have. So hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you are most excited about, and we'll see you in the next video.